Tom Hartmann from Sorted joins us again. Good morning, Tom. Good to see you.
Good morning. Great to be with you again.
We are talking debt consolidation. Let's start with what exactly is debt consolidation, Tom?
Yeah, that's just a fancy way of saying taking a lot of different debts that you might have and rolling it into a single loan. And hopefully that new loan would have a lower interest rate, save you heaps of money, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And then you would have one manageable payment to pay it off. There are a lot of advantages to doing this.
Okay.
Pros and cons.
So give us an example of the different kind of debts that people could have that they could roll into this one debt.
Yeah, so one example is, for example, if you took some different debts that you had, let's say a credit card, a store card, maybe even a car loan or a personal loan, wrapped it all together and either put it on a very low interest credit card. I mean, there's some low balance transfer deals that are, like 1.99% is one that I know of, for example. So that's much lower than a store card that might be just below 30%.
Wow.
And literally save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Another way to do it is to wrap it all and put it on to extend your mortgage if you're a homeowner. And so usually a mortgage money is cheaper to borrow than, say, again, a store card or a credit card, which hover around 20 or even 30%, just under usually. So that's one way to do it. And the third way might be a personal loan through the bank. And that also can have better terms. And so key thing to do here is to shop around. Many people are trying to solve a short-term problem. Maybe they've racked up too much debt. Even the minimum payments are not really comfortable, and it's hard to make any headway. This is one way actually to pay off debt faster.
Yeah. So that's obviously the benefit is obviously saving money, and I would imagine it would be less stressful, right? Just going through one route rather than managing all these different debts that are going on in your life, Tom.
Yes, absolutely. But there are some downsides, and what financial mentors, regularly report to us on Sorted when they tell us about clients is what can happen is someone can get a much bigger loan, wrap up all the smaller debts. But say, for example, one of those is a credit card, and they leave it open instead of closing the credit card. And so basically what they've done is they've emptied out their credit card. And so now they can borrow even more on top of that. And so if the relationship with debt doesn't change, you end up with this big loan that you're paying down, but then you're also racking up more expenses on that credit card again. The end result is unfortunately even more debt.
Wow. Okay. But I understand that there's people that can actually help people sort of make these decisions, right? Because I can imagine being in that situation, you're sort of feeling in a pickle anyway. And when you've got a lot of stress on, it can be really hard to make decisions, to have that clarity of mind. And that's where money talks and such come in, Tom.
Yeah, too right. I mean, we're very lucky here in New Zealand to have this free helpline, and that is 0800-345-123. But you can actually text them as well, and lots of people prefer to do that at 4029.
Yeah.
And the service can even be used anonymously in the sense that you don't have to give any details about yourself. If you just want to talk through your money worries, your situation, and just get some, you don't really need to. But so the helpline team can give you support very often, but they can also refer you to a financial mentor. So these are the people we used to call budget advisors. They are at the ready to give you support and to be that person in your corner when you're negotiating also your debts with your lenders. And so it's really helpful to have someone there for you and help you negotiate the best deal for you.
And so that service is also free?
Yep. And so that goes through the financial mentors, and that network there is funded by government.
Okay.
And so that is also, this is all free support because getting into trouble with debt is really an emergency, and it happens to a lot of people. If you find yourself, unfortunately, it shuts us down, and we don't tend to talk about it because there's an element of shame that goes with it. But I mean, many of us experience this, and so these are services that have been set up to support people as they go through it.
So good to know, because apart from talking with you about this, I had absolutely no idea that this service existed. So I'm sure many of my listeners feel the same way. So take Tom's advice. If you find yourself in a bit of a situation with your debt, anything to do with it, but in particular today we're talking about debt consolidation, just making life a bit simpler for you and saving hundreds of dollars. Sounds very good indeed. Why don't you call 0800 345 123. That's 0800 345 123. Or you can text 4029. Tom Hartmann, thanks so much for your time today. Catch up with you next time.
Oh, thank you. And as always, if you want more information on these topics, you can come to sorted.org.nz. There's a lot more about wrapping your debts all together. Have a great week.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can catch all our interviews on Star. See you next time.